Welcome, AMPA delegates, life members, members extraordinaire, AMPA volunteers, staff, student award winners, and distinguished guests to the 105th annual meeting of the Provincial Assembly. That's good. OK. Alors que nous nous réunissons dans le cadre de cette réunion annuelle, cela témoigne du pouvoir collectif qui existe au fond de chacun d'entre nous. And I'm just going to say thank you to everyone I just saw right now taking their headset and putting it on. Please, 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 if you are not fully bilingual, I will be speaking French and English throughout. I do not repeat what I said in French. I do not repeat what I said in English. I want you to get every word, but I want that to be the case throughout the meeting. So headphones on, and I'll keep going. I want to start by giving my deepest gratitude to Marilyn Robitaille and Elder Pearl Gamona. I hope we can all reflect on their words of truth, grace, and wisdom. As we continue learning and growing on our path of reconciliation, the Provincial Executive is offering a limited number of truth and reconciliation booklets to help further our awareness of the 10 principles of reconciliation and the 94 calls to action. Please see the Ask AMPA desk to get a copy in French or English. We ordered a limited supply. You don't need to rush out there right now, though. But you can order more for your district on the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation's website. And I hope everyone who wanted to was able to benefit from this morning's smudge. You know, as we go through every AMPA, we learn, and we learned today that even in the Osgood Ballroom, we need to make sure that the garage doors are open so that the smoke goes out. And I apologize if that caused discomfort or ailment to anyone, but I really appreciated the ability to go and participate in the smudge. So thank you for participating as well. Elder Pearl and Marilyn shared with me that smudging is purifying, and when we smudge, we bring the smoke over our heads and minds to think good thoughts, and that's a perfect way to start AMPA. So you'll notice this AMPA feels a little different. We'll have some music from the Royal Conservatory of Music, which is very exciting. We have an incredible DJ with us here today. Thank you, DJ. Oh, and I'm pretty sure you noticed we have a new seating plan. And at the special request of the President, under the hamburger menu in the app, you can find a listing of the seating plan. Now, you'll have to zoom in a bit, but you can stretch it and you can use it to find friends and colleagues from different districts, find out where they're seated, make some new friends. We have new swag. Oh, I forgot, there's something else new. When you got here, you might have seen in the lobby some people in amazing yellow sweatshirts that say, "I know it all." They were busy as anything last night, helping everybody get to where they needed to be, and I thought that was really wonderful. You'll also see there's yellow vests on the floor. They're different. I think they know everything too, but they're going to help should there arise any issues with the clickers. So we also have new swag, such as fun tags that people can choose from, including tags that celebrate first-timers. You know, I heard a story last night that there's somebody here in the room, I'm not going to ask them to identify, who used to come to AMPA as someone in the childcare, also known as AMPA Camp, and they are now here as a first-time delegate. Isn't that cool? Okay, so anyone, and I think we probably, Marilyn will be a recipient of this. Anyone who is here at AMPA for the first time, stand if you are able, clap, wave. Let's see if you want to show us first-timers. Yeah. I know some of you are shy, that's okay, but like I said, for Marilyn and anyone else, when you get to the microphone, if you identify as first time at the mic, you don't even have to be your first AMPA, but first time at the mic, then at your leisure, you can visit the steering and resolutions desk to select some really awesome swag options, right? Yes. La RAP de cette année n'est certes pas ordinaire, reflétant un changement plus grand, un changement plus profond que nous avons apporté au sein et à l'échelle de notre fédération. One fundamental change is our strategic action plan, which really is a strategy for the future, formulated around 3 core pillars: promote and protect public education, defend and support members, and mobilize members and engage communities. These are the 3 pillars, hopefully we pass the strategic action plan, that will guide the work of our entire federation. It is a bold, proactive, and it's focused on our priorities for the future, which is exactly what we need to do as we prepare for the 2026 provincial election and the next round of bargaining. Yeah. I know, I feel the same. As we head into the rest of AMPA, please keep these 3 pillars in mind: promote and protect public education, defend and support members, mobilize members, and engage communities. Because this work is going to take all of us, and most importantly, it will require local leaders and individual members taking it up and moving it from words to action. It relies on us all to bring the strategic action plan to life in our communities, workplaces, and local federation offices. Nous avons constaté à maintes reprises que lorsque nous nous réunissons et que nous luttons pour nos droits, notre subsistance, notre profession, nos élèves et nos communautés, rien ne peut nous arrêter. And we saw this when we showed up at rallies in support of the rights of 2S LGBTQI+ students to express themselves freely and safely in schools. We must always fight for the rights of students and members. Just as we fought Bill 124, for years we battled against Ford's unconstitutional and disastrous wage suppression legislation that stole wages from all of you year after year. But just last month, an arbitrator awarded our school board members a significant retroactive salary bump to address the stolen wages, and then, merely a few days later, the Court of Appeals for Ontario struck down the unlawful bill once and for all. We now have a clear path to seek a remedy for all OSSTF-FASO members affected by Bill 124, and not just the ones covered under the arbitrated award. For school board members, we will head to arbitration over the 2022-2026 central agreements for education workers and teachers and occasional teachers. Those arbitrations and the arbitrated Bill 124 award were made possible by the innovative bargaining pathway approved by members last September. A pathway that has pretty much been adopted in some form or another by the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association, and the Association des enseignantes et des enseignants franco-ontariennes. Cela s'est avéré une situation très unique qui a mis à l'épreuve notre solidarité et notre capacité d'adaptation lors de situations difficiles. Et la réussite est largement attribuable à votre dévouement et à votre ardeur au travail. Even now you're here, devoting your time to show up for members, your colleagues, and for the Federation. You support each other, you teach each other, you grow together, and this is how we will grow stronger. We all know that we have a tough road ahead of us. Seems like it's always that way. It takes guts and long hours and even sweat and hardship to protect the rights of workers, students, and our communities. But I have no doubt, none whatsoever, that we can and will protect and enhance public education. We will protect, support, and even mobilize members. Mobilize them to take action and engage with their communities in order to defeat Ford's privatization agenda. And we won't stop there. In Ontario, we have a recruitment and retention problem in education, a problem that spans the globe. Just a few weeks ago, Minister of Education, Stephen Lecce, finally, he admitted to reality. I think a reporter caught him, and these were not prepared remarks, but he admitted that we have a problem in retention and recruitment. Now, I'm pretty sure he regrets that now, but it's the truth. I know we can restore this beautiful and rewarding profession of education, inspire, recruit, and develop the next generation of talented teachers and education workers to join our ranks and become the future of education. Yes, I'm speaking to the faculty, students, but so many more others out there in education and planning to enter into this world of education. They are the future of the Federation. They are the future of the labor movement. We are educators, but we are also unionists, and we must lead by example and lift up future generations who are poised to have one of the strongest labor movements in Canadian history. We're here for the next few days to steer the direction of the Federation and to foster our continued growth as an organization. We do this by listening to one another, valuing all voices, and recognizing the strength of our diversity. However, as we head into the weekend, we cannot ignore the devastating discord around the world, including in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Gaza, Israel, Lebanon, Sudan, Ukraine, and Yemen and the Red Sea. OSSTF-VASO members share the feelings of horror and devastation at the suffering and loss of civilian life in these conflicts. Our members and the campuses, classrooms, and communities they serve have not been spared the fallout of these events. In response to the rapidly escalating violence, there has been a sharp and alarming rise in Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, anti-Palestinian racism, and other forms of hate in Canada and around the world. And we must recognize the immense impact that violence, hate, and political unrest have on our members, the students they serve, and the communities they live in. Every member of OSSTF-VASO deserves to be safe in their workplaces, free from any form of oppression, violence, or hate. Closer to home, we have also seen heightened instances of hate and other forms of oppression, all of which have devastating impacts on our learning and working environments, as well as our communities. The Federation is committed to defending the workplace rights of its members. Equally, our students deserve to be safe in their learning environments. Hate has no place in our schools, our universities, our work sites, or our communities. Nos principes en matière d'équité, de lutte contre le racisme et de lutte contre l'oppression continueront d'être la force motrice du travail de la Fédération. Cet engagement est indéfectible. La protection des membres de OSSTF-VASO est au cœur même de tout ce que nous faisons. C'est au cœur même du syndicalisme. We are proud to have many community leaders and allies join us over the next 3 days that we can learn from, including Reverend Terry Melvin, President of the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists. Make sure you are in your seat for the Reverend's speech this morning. You won't want to miss this. And for more information on becoming a member of the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, please visit the Addressing Anti-Black Racism Committee's booth in the foyer. I also want to welcome the President of the Canadian Teachers Federation, Heidi Yetman, a woman who fully embodies the idea of putting in the work in order to have an impact. I take inspiration from her regularly in my role as one of the vice presidents of the Canadian Teachers Federation, and I am so honored that she has joined us for this year's AMPA. I think she'll also be going to the Catholic Teachers AGM as well, but she's ours today. And speaking of doing the work, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a big fan of encouraging small, medium, or large actions. And what's a more perfect time to do that than AMPA? I have 3 actions for each and every one of you. Okay, this is easy. For the small action, I encourage anyone with a social media account to visit the Better Schools, Stronger Communities booth. I can see the sign right out there. And pick up a poster. There's a bunch of different ones. Take a selfie. Share it on your profile. Make sure to tag us and use the hashtags OSSTF and hashtag AMPA 2024. Okay, for the medium action, and it's not that hard either, we will have petitions that will be coming to your table shortly. One is from NDP MPP Catherine Fife calling for increased mental health service funding. I hope we will all sign that one. I know that we need that desperately. And the second calls for more funding for provincial schools for deaf, blind, and deafblind students. An issue we recently highlighted in a press conference with D30 President Tamara Witcher and with MPP and NDP education critic Chandra Pasma. You can find the video of that press conference on our YouTube channel. Subscribe and like, I think I'm supposed to say. Okay, and now for the bigger action. This is totally doable. It's not that big. Anyone in this room should be able to do this at the beginning of lunch break. We'd like as many of you as possible to just meet at the booth, the Better Schools, Stronger Communities booth, and from the booth, OSSTF FASO organizers will lead a 30-minute canvas. You'll still have time to get something to eat in downtown Toronto in support of the NDP petition for more funding for provincial schools, weather dependent. I think you're going to go, right? We'll share umbrellas. Let's go do this at lunch for sure. And as we take action against Ford and his privatization agenda, it will take a toll on us. And that's why we need to express gratitude. I am grateful today to be in this room with so many incredible people, but I'm also grateful for my coffee that's sitting over there and the bacon I had for breakfast. But I'm grateful to be able to stand as your president. When you express gratitude, it doesn't have to be something big. When you express gratitude, no matter how big or small, it changes the neurons in your brain. And we need to do that in order to keep all those other thoughts out and bring gratitude in. I also think it's really important to recognize joy. When I think about joy, I think about my family. I have 2 kids, son and a daughter, but I think especially about my daughter right now because every year in January, Facebook reminds me of the trip that I took with her and a busload of strong women in 2017 to Washington for the Women's March. We marched in solidarity with thousands, probably millions of women from across the continent. And to be there in Washington, D.C. with all those women fighting for our rights and for gender equality and for everyone, but to be there side by side with my daughter fills me with so much joy. I know I sound like I'm going to cry, but that's joy. Joy comes in different forms. And the funny thing is, the picture that comes up every year is my daughter and I together, and the sign says, like mother, like daughter, nasty. So I was reminded of this trip on Monday when I heard that French citizens fought back and they are countering the very negative narrative coming out of the U.S. with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. French women have shown us how much power women have to express joy together and to dig down deep and to do the hard work. You can show your support for reproductive rights by visiting the Status of Women table, picking up a green ribbon. That's the symbol of reproductive rights. And I'll just say, you see my colleagues, my women colleagues at the front, we're all wearing white today. One of the things we do for fun is get together and watch Biden's State of the Union address. And I said, why is everyone in white? The Democrat women were making a statement about protecting reproductive rights. So we're doing the same, making a statement. I ask you to visit that booth to get the ribbon. Women around the world will thank you. So Toy Derricott is an African-American poet, and they wrote a poem titled Joy as an Act of Resistance. And Randy Weingarten, who's the president of the American Federation of Teachers, she quotes this a lot. This quote has been embraced by activists as a force for change, and it embraces the idea that to live joyfully and to express gratitude is to live in defiance of oppression and discrimination, to let the rest of the world know that you are powerful and can never be broken. And needless to say, I was very moved by Toy's work because no matter what happens, what Ford and others try to do to bring us down, it is our joy that resists them, defies them, enrages them. I know the best thing that I did at those hate rallies in the fall was just to stand and smile and nod my head. And those yelling at me eventually went away. It is our joy that will outlast them. And this is true across the labor movement and our federation as well. One of my greatest honors as president of this vibrant and distinct union is witnessing individual members of the federation take up federation work with joy, passion, and even a revitalized energy for their profession. Members such as Marcia from District 25, whose engagement with the Status of Women Committee fills her with a profound sense of purpose. Through this work, she's undergone a personal transformation alongside the incredible women of the Status of Women Committee. And she shared with me that without her role on that committee, she might have seriously considered stepping away from teaching altogether. However, the realization that she can have a positive impact on people's lives through Federation work has brought her tremendous satisfaction and fulfillment. And non-Mogi Kwe, Sherry Auger, whose participation in the First Nation, Métis, and Inuit Advisory Work Group has helped Sherry through obstacles and challenges she faces in her own career as an attendance counselor in District 5A. Her connections with other work group members and their shared stories of finding their identities and how they have all arrived on this path at this point in their lives has been a truly unique and incredible experience for Sherry. Il est évident que le travail de la Fédération peut également aider à ouvrir de nouvelles portes pour les membres dans leur communauté et dans leur vie personnelle. Alison Sillis, du District 21, est le parfait exemple. Alison est la présidente du comité de communication et de l'action politique et elle a investi un nombre d'heures et un dévouement inestimable à la défense d'un meilleur système d'éducation et de nombreuses autres causes progressives à un tel point qu'elle s'est présentée comme candidate NP2 dans sa conscription aux dernières élections provinciales et fédérales. I'm looking this way because she's sitting right there. So if you want to talk to Allison later on, she's right there. These stories touch me deeply as a Federation president, but they also, for me, as a former classroom teacher whose own joy for the profession, I know I've said it many times, my last teaching job was working with students with developmental disabilities and or autism. The joy in that job was incredible. The vital role that public education plays, the joy in my work was also reinvigorated by my Federation work. This joy continues in my current role today with my current executive. I already referenced them, these incredible 4 women, and Jeff and Colin too. I am filled with joy when I stand up here and share the strategic action plan. Absolutely, I am. This is an amazing plan. And it's about making the critical inroads we are making in our equity, anti-racism, and anti-oppression work. And I also take immense joy and pride in reflecting on the journey we've undertaken together. In the face of challenges, adversities, and even the epic fail, I talk about them a lot. You know, with an epic fail that you have, you talk about what it was, how you felt at the time, how you coped with it, and what you learned from it. Nothing's really a fail. Our union has stood tall, a beacon of unity and strength. And it's clear to me that the strength of our union is not just in the battles we've won or the achievements we've celebrated, but that it's inside all of us. It's woven into the fabric of our shared experiences, the connections we forged, and the relationships we built. C'est dans les réunions de comités et de conseils, les rassemblements et les moyens de pression, les discussions qui s'étirent tard en soirée, ce sont tous nos efforts collaborateurs et le soutien mutuel que nous nous offrons les uns aux autres qui nous définissent. We've weathered storms, faced down heavy-handed and divisive governments. We've navigated uncharted territories, and through it all, the power to overcome has always resided within ourselves. So as we face the challenges of the present and the uncertainties of the future, let us draw inspiration from the timeless wisdom of my favorite movie, The Wizard of Oz. I know. But like Dorothy, who discovered she had everything she needed within her all along, we too possess an inherent strength that transcends any external force, the power to shape our destiny, protect our rights, our students' rights, and to secure a better future for public education lies within each of us, each of you. And as we experience AMPA together this weekend, and then leave this annual meeting to go back to our workplaces and homes, let us carry with us the conviction that together we are an unstoppable force capable of surmounting any challenge. The strength of our union lies in the invincible spirit that resides within each of us sitting here today and in every member of OSSTF-ASO. It has always been within us, and it always will be. So thank you so much, AMPA delegates, for being here, for listening, for using your power. I look forward to taking action with all of you in solidarity.